Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of the PokerGO Podcast. My name is Donnie Peters. His name is Tim Duckworth. It is Thursday, August 21st, 8:38 p.m. Cramming this one in here before we go home. Just wrapped up day one of the third edition of Cash of the Titans. I know it's not on the rundown, but I do want to hit on that to start the show. So we'll talk about that. Tim's going to be out the door to San Diego. He's got to play some kangaroo ball, right?
Some what?
Kangaroo ball?
Sure. I like that, yeah.
What are you playing?
Australian rules football.
Yeah, kangaroo ball, right?
Sure.
Kangaroo ball. Come on. Kangaroo ball. Let's go.
I do.
You
like
bounce
that
it, you kick it, like you throw it. I don't
It
even
is
know.
made out of kangaroo leather.
I don't even know the rules.
You have it. You kick it, you bounce it, you run with it, you put it through the post, score some goals, win some trophies. That's about it.
All right.
Some tackles.
Sounds good. We're also going to talk about National Heads Up Poker Championship because it is back. We're
That's the winner, right?
No, we're not. No spoilers. We're only going to talk about the draw for the round of 64. We're going to look at some of those early matchups, see how things shake out there. That is still TBD on the release schedule for it. It's going to be coming to Peacock, to PokerGO, to the PokerStars channels, but that's all to be announced once they start locking in all the episodes and how it's all going to shake out. Got some news on the Twitter streets or social media streets. Now, I don't necessarily think all of this news is fully like the two companies going toe to toe, but I don't know. It's just kind of interesting that on one side you have ClubWPT Gold came out with something very interesting, weird, off-putting to many that we'll talk about. And then you have GGPoker on the other side coming out with something that I think a lot of people are like, wow, this is very cool and innovative. So we're going to talk about both of those things and what they are. If you're going to go back to the final episode from the World Series of Poker, while we were talking about Michael Mizrachi's historic win, news dropped that the Aussie Millions was returning, and we said that we would talk about it on a future episode. Well, this is that episode. I got my resident kangaroo buddy right here, so we're going to hit on it. The Aussie Millions. I feel like we know some stuff, but we don't know a lot of stuff. So we'll see what we know. We'll review it and talk about that a little bit. We got a big super high roller series that is going down right now over in Cyprus. It's not fully complete, but a couple of events that we want to hit on there. And then I guess, kind of going back to the whole WPT versus WSOP / GGPoker type of stuff. You got WSOP Paradise released their schedule. We got dates that came out for the WPT World Championship in December with a couple of specific dates as it relates to WPT Prime Championship and the WPT World Championship. But that part of things, the WPT stuff, is still also kind of TBD. So we're going to juggle those balls back and forth as well. So fun show today, as always. If you're listening, please hit the review or the favorite button, hit the review button, leave us a review, give us a rating, 5 stars only, please, for the love of God, help us grow. And then send in those reviews to podcast@pokergo.com. Just take a screenshot. We want proof that you left a review. We want to possibly read it on air. Please. We love when you guys email into the show. If you are watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. Like the video. It's that little thumbs up right below the video. Subscribe to the PokerGO YouTube channel. And then don't forget to drop us a comment. Doesn't matter where you're watching from, what you're railing, what you're interested in, all that sort of stuff. We love to engage with the comments. I try and go through every single episode and respond to every single one. Sometimes I'll come at you if I think you got a ridiculous take. Sometimes I'll agree with you. Sometimes I'll answer a question or whatever, but we love to get in there with the comments. And if you think you're a poker legend, well, then you better get your butt on over to PlayPokerGO.com. I've been in there just about every single day. I think I missed one day maybe in the past week and a half, playing at the high stakes table.
So rich.
I'm just in there battling every single day. I'm trying to bust every single freaking person on the site. Okay. So get in there and come play with me. I don't need to give out my name anymore. I mean, it's PokerGO Donnie, but you'll just see the custom avatar of my face.
I'm not playing until I get my avatar.
My face. And it is in there, and we are battling all the time. So get in there and play PokerGO.com. They have ring games. That's what I like to play because you can get in and out without any sort of, structure, schedule, whatever. But they also have tournaments, plenty of tournaments. They have free rolls that run every single hour. They have sit and goes. They're no gamble, no future branded. You spin the wheel of gain when you go in. You can play those sit and goes. So all the action, it's free online poker. And as of, I think, last week, brand new promotion. Now, this one is important for you guys. We like to give away a lot of stuff at PokerGO when we can. Tim and I are always trying to really push to give stuff away, give back to you guys out there. Here is another opportunity for you to win. And I know we have the PokerGO Podcast Dream Seat Gleam giveaway thing that we're doing regularly. That is still happening. Yes. And Tim's going to have a code word at some point in this episode. But also, we have a new Dream Seat opportunity, and it comes through the PlayPokerGO platform. All you have to do from now until December 10th, December 10th is the cutoff day. It's the last day for this giveaway promotional window. Go to playpokergo.com, create an account if you don't have one already. Again, it's totally free to do this. Or you can download the app to iOS or your Android device. And then all you have to do after that is play one hand. Doesn't matter if it's a ring game, a tournament, a sit and go, whatever. I don't care. Just get in there and play one single hand. So create a free account, play a single hand, and you will be automatically entered. That activates your entry into the Dream Seat giveaway. And we will be drawing one winner to win a Dream Seat to come out to Vegas in January to right here at the PokerGO studio and play in the PGT $1 Million Championships. That is a completely free way to enter. Again, go to playpokergo.com or download the app to your favorite device and then play one free hand of online poker. I do need to mention that it is U.S. only. I'm sorry for all you internationals out there. We cannot win.
What is that?
It is U.S. only. It is 21 plus. No purchase necessary. Get on in there and play on playpokergo.com for your chance to win. If you have an account already, and you might think, oh, I have an account already. It doesn't matter. Just all you have to do is between now and the end date of December 10th is just play your one hand, and then that'll activate you. So it's open to everyone, both new and existing members. So even if you ultimately don't play on PlayPokerGO, I would highly encourage you just to get your butt over there and sign up for a free account. Play your one hand. That way you could possibly be winning a Dream Seat to come out to Vegas and play in the PGT $1 Million Championship. So check that out today as well. All right, let's get into these news and happenings. The first thing, I know it's not on the rundown, Tim, so forgive me, but let's touch on day one of 3 for Cash of the Titans. We just wrapped it up. So rather unique format. If you guys don't know what Cash of the Titans is, it's basically a hybrid between a cash game and a tournament worked into one. The players have to buy in for a certain amount. Okay, they get then a certain allotted amount of rebuys or add-ons, however they want to take them. The blinds start at a certain level, but then they escalate. There are escalating levels, which you don't often see in cash games. On top of that, they all post money on the side for a bonus prize pool that is divvied up, depending on how that version of Cash of the Titans is structured. For this Cash of the Titans, each player, there are 7 players. They're each putting up $75K on the side. And then it's $75K to the biggest winner from day 1. It is $150K to the biggest winner from day 2, just day 2. And then the third and final day, $300,000 goes to the biggest overall winner from all 3 days. So it's a cash game, yes, but it also has that tournament leaderboard element to it. It has that prize pool element that a tournament has. So it's a blend of both worlds. For this edition, we have Andrew Roble, one of the heaviest of hitters. Mm-hmm. We have Alan Keating, an absolute maniac out there. Great person to have on stream. Andrew Pacheco, a.k.a. Ace. Justin Gavery, Kirk Brown, Sean Madden, and Darren Feinstein. The stakes start at, I think, 200, 300?
200, 300, and then went to 200, 400.
So they play 2 levels each day across 3 days. So today, they played day 1 or yesterday, depending on when you're listening or watching to this. And then on Friday is going to be day 2. On Saturday is going to be the finale. So even if you missed day 1 action, would highly encourage you to, well, 1, go back and watch it, because these hands were freaking ridiculous. When you consider the whole like bonus prize money at stake, it's just wild how it all plays out. Epic ending to the whole thing. So be sure to go and watch that. And then, of course, it all builds to day 2. It builds to day 3. A lot of fun. That is available. The first level was available for free on the PokerGo YouTube channel. The whole stream is available on PokerGo.com. But, I mean, we're going to spoil it a little bit here because it's done and it's out there, So if you want to watch it, I would highly encourage you to skip the next little bit of the episode. But I guess let me throw it to you first. Biggest kind of takeaway from day 1 of this Cash of the Titans.
Well, we thought it was going to be a little smaller of a game.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot to mention that part.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing. The plan originally was $100,000 buy-in, and then you get 200K bullets. And they kicked things off. They got cards in the air, some pots started flying, and then all of a sudden it was, they added a couple more add-ons, and they added a couple more add-ons, and basically the max right now is, and I say right now because we don't know what's going to happen on day 2 or 3. Rules could change again, but you're allowed a total of 700K bullets. Now that sounds great, but it's a little unfair because you're putting up this side money. You're putting up this side money. You touch on a 75K today, 150 tomorrow, 300 overall, and some of these players accepted the side money and the rules, and then things got changed. Now it's hard to kind of argue when certain players are like, "Hey, let's bump it up a bit more." So I feel bad for a couple of the guys there, but
it's also one of those things where it's kind of like when you're at the final table of a tournament and everyone wants to do a chop.
Yeah,
you don't want to be that guy who says no. So it's kind of awkward.
I always say yes.
So, yeah, I know you, but I'm just saying, even like
you kind of
I know. Ultimately, you and I can both say we think it's unfair. Somebody could counterpoint that and say, yeah, but all the players agreed to it because they did. And then I would just say, yeah, but like, if you gave them a truth serum, like, would they really agree? Did they really want to do it? Or were they just doing it because everyone else did?
Yeah.
Like, is it just kind of an awkward thing?
Yeah.
So that part is a little bit interesting. Now, end of the day, everyone did agree, right? So I get it. But I do feel like overall that definitely favors Keating and Roble specifically, just because I feel like they have endless money.
Of course.
I mean, I also kind of think Justin Gavry might have endless money. Nothing against Justin Gavry. I think he's a super nice guy. I think he's out there battling, whether it be No Gamble, No Future, Cash of the Titans, high stakes poker, whatever it is. This guy just cannot win in the studio. It's outrageous.
Yeah.
Like he can't do anything right. It's not that he can't do anything right because he does a lot of stuff right. It's just that nothing goes his way. It reminds me of, remember when like we were through all the tournaments, especially the super high buy and stuff, Chris Brewer was just losing, bubbling, just like huge spot after huge spot. It reminds me of that, but in a cash game format. Like Gavry just gets his money and gets his money and gets his money. And like, if he's ahead, he doesn't hold. If he's behind, he doesn't get lucky. Like it doesn't matter. Like it's so sick.
There's this site out there, highrollpoker.com, that tracks like, have you seen this site before?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's graphs in the positive though. So I don't know.
I mean,
maybe
sure,
it's
like
just live streams and they don't count the episodes. Because if they're counting episodes, I think you're right.
I mean, I'm just like, I could be off in what I'm watching, but I feel like every time I see him play, it's just not going his way. Like I'm just
episodes.
sorry.
Like, look, it has, season 14.
I mean, I even made a comment to like our group today, and Brent Hanks was like, yeah, he's always getting crushed.
Yeah.
Again, it's not like he's getting crushed because he's a bad player. He's just like, it just does not work out in his favor. It's just so sick to watch. And like, you're like, at some point, like you just want to reward the guy for constantly showing up. Yeah, he just shows up and continues to get punched in the face, but he continues to like have a smile on his face. He's got a drink in his hand. He's having a good time. At least it looks like he's having a good time. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I'm sure Justin Gavry will have his day, and maybe he's able to use one of his 7 bullets in this thing and come back. But man, like another day when just like, it was like, really? Like, really? It's all going to happen to him again? So anyway, continue with what you were saying.
No, I just was wanting to look at the high roll poker to see where he kind of is, and it's not as bad as, you and me thought, but
it also could have been a lot better, maybe,
Yeah, and we might revisit this page when we get onto one of the later topics, but
okay.
Yeah, look, it's an interesting format. It does make, like we said, we don't want to give too much away, but the final few hands made things interesting. Just like in Cash of the Titans 2, when we had Andrew Roble, Kristen Foxer, and Sean Perry all playing kind of some massive pots in the end that, came down to the wire for that last bonus and the, who we declared as the winner. So even today, we saw that. It's probably going to happen tomorrow. It's probably going to happen on day 3. It's a great watch, and hopefully, if you did miss it, make sure you check the full replay on PokerGO.com.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there were some incredibly big pots.
Yeah.
Some would say massive.
Shout out
Massive. Couple, I think 3 or 4 were north of 400,000. Couple of them went over the $500,000 mark, which when you're playing 200, 300, and 200, 400, I mean, that's wildly big.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys were absolutely blasting. You had a huge 3-way all-in at one point. You had the guys playing for it all, and at another point, it was Darren Feinstein versus Alan Keating with both had middle pair on the flop, and the money just got in. I mean, Keating had middle pair and a flush draw, but like still, just like nonstop, like just crazy stuff. Keating playing some hands blind toward the end, like it was just wild.
Mm-hmm.
They get to the second to last hand of the night. An insane clash happens between Justin Gavry and Alan Keating. Now, when the money went in, Gavry was behind, yes, but when you're up against a wild card that is Alan Keating on the Queen 10-7 board and you got Queen Jack, I can't fault Justin Gavry for going broke there, and Keating's just got the 10-7.
Yeah.
And they put $14K in pre-flop each. So it's like, like really, again, just going bad for Justin Gavry there. And Keating ends up on that second to last hand of the night. He storms all the way back to take the day's lead by 5K. 5K. And then the final hand has to play out where like him and Roble and Sean Madden are involved in this kind of weird 3-way pot that Sean Madden ends up winning. And because he wins it, Keating secures the day's end win. So he gets that $75,000 bonus. I mean, the whole thing is just, it was an incredible episode from start to finish. It started with a bang. There was that hand right at the beginning. Again, Justin Gavry. He gets king, queen. He 3-bets. Alan Keating gets aces, which is like it's just unfair. Like that he gets aces. He 4-bets, gets back to Keating. He calls with king, queen suited. Can't fault anything there. It's Alan Keating. He could have complete napkins. It comes king high. Okay, this is horrible news for Justin Gavry. Turns a king. Oh, this is great news for Justin Gavry. Oh no, river's an ace. And then that's when all the money just decides to go in. And of course, Keating's got the full house over the trips for Justin Gavry and just like bang right out of the gate. Welcome to Cash of the Titans, Alan Keating. You are just the absolute best, I guess. And just, more bad news for Justin Gavry. But overall, a really, really great show today. 4 hours of play, just epic from start to finish. One player busted out. That was Ace Pacheco. He lost, I believe, 225. And then I know you mentioned obviously the cap is 700 that you can lose. 775 total if you include the $75,000 side bet. But Ace said, "All right, that's my biggest loss or my stop loss. I'm out, for the day." And he called it quits. Essentially forfeiting his 75K side bet, and he's done. So they're down to 6. Right? There was a big hand. That big hand that I mentioned with the Queen Jack for Gavry versus the 10-7 for Keating. That happened on the second to last hand of the night. Gavry ends up reloading for one of his bullets, 100K back on the table. And then he plays one more hand. They end up bagging, I guess. But they come back with the same number of chips, right?
Yeah, or they can use the add-ons and
but they can't you can't reset.
You can't go south.
Like Keating's got over 500K on the table. Roble's got I think he has all 700 maybe on the table. I don't know if he used it all. I think he had 600 or 700 on the table.
Yeah,
and he's up like 230 or something, 220, so something like that. So yeah, I mean, just again, crazy day of poker. I would highly encourage you guys to go back and watch this if you want to check it out, because I think this is one of the best products that PokerGO puts out there. I truly believe that. I think if you guys have listened to the show long enough, you would trust that I would tell you if it wasn't. The Cash of the Titans. I just really think that this format is super unique. I will also say that along those lines, I would not ever do it more than once, maybe twice a year. Like I think this is one of those things that it's unique, and part of it being special is that it doesn't happen often. Like it's like a once a year thing. You know, like if you started to be like, okay, this format works, let's do it every single week, I'd be like, okay, you're now you're ruining it. Like you're saturating the whole thing. So let's just keep it to once a year, build it up to be a big thing. It becomes kind of an event in a way, and I really like it. So I thought it was a lot of fun. Any other thoughts?
No.
All right, cool. All right, let's move on to another big event. The National Heads Up Poker Championship. It is back, baby. 64 players. They were drawn to the first round. When did that happen? A couple weeks ago? They had the draw party in here, which was
July 31st.
The draw party was awesome. I didn't know what to expect for the draw party. You always go into those things. You're going into the unknown, who's going to show up? What's the vibe going to be like? Is there going to be a buzz or an energy in the studio because this event is back? We know what the old draw parties used to be. I got to go to a couple of them. I hit a bad beat jackpot at one of them. But if you want to go on PokerGO.com, where Tim's been putting up all of the past seasons, and you can see the draw party in some of that.
Yeah.
You're like, they're in like huge ballrooms, like they're all filling out their brackets, getting called up on stage. Like it's a whole thing. Now, this one wasn't as big as back then, but this was still, the room was freaking buzzing.
Yeah.
So, a lot of fun there.
At least 55 of the players here. We had a few that got delayed traveling in, flying in from LA, San Fran, etc. But I thought getting 55 odd players here was pretty good. Obviously, I had some plus ones. We had media here. It was fun. You're right. Like there was everyone kind of congregated in that room. We drew people in. They came in. They talked a little shit about their opponents, shook hands, took some photos. There's a bit of side bets going on. Like
there was a lot of side action.
Even before betting actual brackets, but just I'm gonna get picked before you, and it's all random. So they're basically just flipping coins. But I think it was a great atmosphere. So yeah, very very fun night.
Yeah, so that really got the buzz going and got me excited.
Yeah.
Because again, you're going into the unknown. You don't really know what to expect. You don't know how people are going to receive it. But I think everyone there was generally excited, very very happy to be involved with it all. And then we did the draw.
Mm-hmm.
And the draw was a lot of fun. Yes, some people weren't there, but I think you had Jeff Platt doing the MC duties and pulling the names and whatnot. There was some friendly ribbing, some jabs thrown at times.
Yep.
You had people kind of going at each other when they were called up. So let's just run through some of the matchups. You can find the brackets were posted on the PokerGO social channels. Again, this is coming out later, and I know various media outlets have written about the round of 64. I'm not going to spoil anything here, but I do want to know, first off, who is the most exciting first round matchup in your opinion?
I personally think we've got to go into this diamonds bracket right down here in the bottom right.
I'm fully prepared for you to say something freaking nuts right now. Like with the way that you do shit, you might say the most outrageous thing ever. So go ahead.
No, not this time. To me, it was 3 coin versus Michael Mizrahi. You got the main event champ.
That's a good one.
Versus 3 coin. Now, it's not just that you got some wild personalities, but it's also the style of play. We've seen 3 coin on, hundreds of different cash games, just a crazy maniac. We've seen Grinder doing this thing on the main event. Like, it's just a clash of personalities, a clash of styles. If we're talking about outfits, we got 3 coin with all his stuff. We got Grinder with 17 patches on. It's to me was the best possible matchup that first round.
I wrote that one down.
Yeah,
it is a very very good one. But I wrote down a backup as well, so I'll go with the backup because you picked that one. But I agree that one is probably my number 1 pick. I'll go with Alan Keating versus Sean Deeb.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just incredible. Sean Deeb is the tournament professional, one of the best in the world, if not the best, one of the best to ever do it. Alan Keating is wild. He'll gamble it up. He's fearless, So, but I also think, Sean is very fearless in a lot of ways. So maybe Sean is a bit more technical than Alan Keating. But I like both these guys do have really big, colorful personalities. I think they're going to have a lot of fun. I also think that the clash of styles is going to be very interesting here. So that's one that I'm very much looking forward to, and it's in the same part of the bracket, the diamonds, as yours. So yeah, I think it'll be hard for production to pick which will be like the main feature.
Yeah,
because one match is always like that main feature.
Yeah.
But that one is very good. Some other matchups from that diamonds portion of the bracket. You have Kevin Pollock versus Liv Burry. We talked about Keating versus Deeb. You have Chris Moneymaker versus Igor Kurganov. Xuan Liu takes on Doug Polk. Dan Cates takes on Charlie Hook. Victoria Lifshitz versus David Williams. And David Williams has an interesting stat. He's, one of 3 people?
One of 3 people to play all 9 seasons.
Who are the other 2?
Can you guess?
When did they start again?
2003? No.
Chris Moneymaker?
Correct.
Has to be. As long as they started after Chris Moneymaker won the main event, I was going to say his name.
Okay.
The other one.
WSOP main
so
event.
let me say this for the viewers, and sorry if I'm upsetting everyone, but this year there's no Ivy, no Negreanu, no Helmuth.
Yeah.
Scheduling conflicts for all 3 of them, and when people bitch and complain and say, "Why didn't you guys get them?" Trust me, they were the first 3 people we called. Okay, just trust us. We're not that dumb. Okay, come on, give us a little bit of credit here. First 3 people we called, and all turned it down for various scheduling reasons. So there's that. Okay, so don't go saying, "Oh, you guys didn't get these people." Trust us. Okay, they were the first 3 on the list. So no, I know that. So I'm not going to guess them. Obviously, they obviously had to play this year. Eric Seidel.
There you go.
Boom! Look at
that. Speaking of some of those names you did mention, they have played nearly every year. Some of the other guys who have played 8 seasons: Huxley, Barry Greenstein, Doyle Brunson, Bill Ivy, Phil Luck, Antonio Esfandiari also was, I believe, invited but couldn't make it. Right?
I just know about the big 3.
Eric Lindgren, Greg Raymer, Elliot Lesra, Mike Mattisau. They were some of the ones that couldn't get to the 9th. But yeah, one matchup I thought was pretty interesting was over here. I'm going to run over to the spades bracket.
Okay.
Casey Mills, Pokemama versus Esther Taylor.
Yeah.
It's good to have women represented here in the National Heads Up Championship. Now, over this is the 9th season. Over all 9 seasons, this was the 6th time 2 ladies faced off. So, yeah, good to see that. Good to see a few, potential main event champion matchups, brewing, depending how things go. That's always something to watch out for. But I thought it was a decent 64. It's not like you said, we didn't get Negreanu and Ivy, but it's hard to get everyone here, get people to put up 25K, get all their schedules put together. So for what we're to kind of do with the time we had, I thought, it wasn't terrible at all.
Yeah, just quickly on the women that played. You mentioned Casey Lynn Mills, aka Poker Mama. Esther Taylor, Ite is in there. Maria Konnikova is in there. Who else we got?
Chrissy Foxon.
We got Chrissy Foxon. We got Victoria Lifshitz, who I already mentioned. We have Liv Burry as well,
and Xuan Liu.
And Xuan Liu. So that's a good number of women.
Yeah.
Don't know what Maria Ho is doing. Would have loved to have seen her in this, but don't know what she's doing. But yeah. All right. Toughest first round matchup. Toughest, okay, when player A knows that they're playing player B, basically they would say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how tough is my opponent, right? Combined with when player B looks at player A. So it's both of them, the average, right? Because it might be if it's Sean Deeb versus me, Sean Deeb, I might think that's very tough, but Sean Deeb doesn't think it's tough. So it lowers the average, right? So that's what I'm going for here.
Look, we're going to disagree here, which is fine.
Oh, great. Love it. Can't wait. Who are you going to pick? You're going to pick something absurd. You're going to pick Seidel and Robo.
That was on the list.
I mean, that's legitimate.
Yeah, that's legitimate.
So I'm not.
I think it's Jesse Lonis, Kristen Foxen for a couple of different reasons. Obviously, there's a lot of experience these two have played against each other right here in the studio. When Chrissy sees Jesse, right, she's thinking, well, this is not the standard GTO guy. This is
hell no.
This is a crazy guy. He believes in angels and gorillas and all these kinds of things. So it's a tough opponent. She would probably rather face a Sam Soverell, or a Sean Winter or a Jason Kuhn. Now, Jesse is looking at Kristen and goes, yep, she's one of the best players in the world, one of the best female players in the world. And there's a lot of pressure on him to also beat her and advance to the next round. So I think there's a little bit more in that matchup than just like, this guy's really good, this lady's really good. I think there's a little bit more to that one. And obviously, they're both, top of the world right now. So that's my toughest matchup. But there's definitely a few more you could choose from here.
I picked Sam Soverell versus Jonathan Jaffe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think those guys are very, very, very good players. I know that this structure is a made-for-TV structure. It's a bit faster, yes, but I think both of these guys are very, very good and very well studied that they're going to be able to adapt to the structure heading in. So, I don't think anyone's going to have any sort of advantage because they can adapt to the structure better than the other person in this spot. If I'm Sam Soverell, I don't want to draw John Jaffe from this field. If I'm John Jaffe, I don't want to draw Sam Soverell from this field. So that's a really, really good one. I mentioned the Seidel and Robo one, another tough one. Just quickly scrolling through. How about Brian Rast and Ren Lin?
Mm-hmm.
I know Ren Lin is kind of a jokester a lot, but still a very good player. I think Eric Lindgren and Jason Kuhn is like sneaky tough. I mean, E-Dog, I know, you might say like he's not Jason Kuhn. Yes. Okay. But E-Dog, very, very good.
Yeah.
Right. Has that old school type of player in him, but is still around doing successful things in poker. So, if I'm Jason Kuhn, I'm not like, this is no walk in the park. E-Dog's a very good player. Also, if you're Jason Kuhn, you know that Eric Lindgren has played this event before. And, I mean, you did the structure and stuff. It's not like wildly different or anything from past years. So, I think Eric Lindgren knows like kind of what to expect, right? So I think that's an interesting matchup there.
Another interesting one to me is Mike Mattisau, Stephen Chidwick. A lot of people might laugh and go, Mike Mattisau, he's not Stephen Chidwick. True. Stephen Chidwick, like I said, one of the best players in the world, very studied, maybe the most perfect poker player out there. Mike Mattisau, a little bit of a feel, but you have to remember, this guy's going to fight for the last chip, and he is also the defending champion.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to wind it back to 2013 when he defeated Phil Hellmuth to win the 8th season of the National Heads-Up Championship. But, you got to think about that. Defending champion, he's going to fight for every chip. Even though he's taking on Stephen Chidwick, that matchup is probably going to be pretty tough for both players,
Yeah. I think Xuan Liu versus Doug Polk is a pretty tough matchup for both of those players. One thing that I wanted to point out, Justin Gavry drew John Smith. Yes, the John Smith. The heads-up poker legend.
Gavry loses again. Just to get locked. It's John Smith. John Smith can't lose. It's heads up.
I mean, I thought it was cool when Justin Gavry drew John Smith. And even though Justin Gavry isn't someone who's been around like the poker scene, like a lot of these guys have for as long as these guys have. But he 100% knew who John Smith was. Yeah. He's like, I got to battle this legend. The guy's iconic, like all this sort of like he knows the legend of John Smith, which I thought was very cool. So, John Smith, we got him in this thing. He was kind of a bit of a, I don't know, needle in a haystack type of guy, like trying to contact him. It's like, shot in the dark, and we got a hold of him. So he's out here playing. So, I think that's very cool as well. Easiest quadrant of the bracket.
To me, it was spades.
That's mine too.
You look at some of the names that, no offense to these guys if they're listening to the
pod. We're going to offense. Lots of offense.
We'll call them VIPs. We'll call them whales, but I'm going to lead with Boston Rob. Love the guy. Not the best poker player. Rob Riggle. I'm not sure how much poker he's played. He's off making Hollywood movies.
I have somebody like Rob Riggle, right? A Hollywood actor. Like I have, you could tell me he plays a home game 3 times a week and he's very seasoned. Maybe he's not a Jason Kuhn, but he, is no fish out of water.
Yeah.
Right. So, he could also just like have never picked up cards before.
Exactly.
And the only reason I say that is because I've been around poker long enough. I've seen plenty of these made for TV shows where there have been times when like literally a celebrity shows up and does not know the game,
teach them.
but they're there like for the appearance to get on TV, like all that sort of stuff. So I mean, I have no idea what these celebrities bring to the table.
We have to throw in Phil Hellmuth's best friend, Jason Calacanis. And it's not just the VIPs. If we talk about the super pros, the super pros in the spades bracket, much less accomplished than the super pros in the other brackets. So that's why, to me, spades definitely the softest of them all. But, they're also fairly close.
Yeah. So I agree with you there. Toughest bracket.
I think it's the one we kind of touched on with Sam Somerville and Jonathan Jaffe. That's clubs.
We agree again.
Yeah. If you map some of these matchups out, you can have Kuhn versus Chino facing Somerville versus winner of that, obviously taking on. You got Brian Rassrain Lynn, that's tough. You got Matt Salzberg, Johnny Vibes. You got Phil Lack in there. You got Nacho Barbero. This is the toughest bracket, and unlucky for some of these guys.
I'm not sure how many people out there will know Brazil God, Luis Rizental, but I mean, he's not just going to roll over.
Exactly.
Like, he knows what he's doing. You may classify him more as like a VIP than a professional poker player, but I mean, he's played enough cash games, been on TV enough, all that sort of stuff that he certainly knows what he's doing.
He's played a lot of cash games on TV, and to say the soft spot. So in this draw, Nick Wright, guys, battled Phil Hellmuth here in high stakes deal, played a bunch of World Series events. He's played on Poker After Dark. He loves poker. He's commentated on the World Series of Poker main event. He's not, whether you think he's a VIP or a fish, he's got poker chops. So like even the so-called soft spot is not soft in this side of the bracket at all.
Yeah, you got Matt Salzberg versus Johnny Vibes. I saw Johnny Vibes put on social media that he got some heads up coaching from somebody heading into this one. Stoyanziev, is that his name?
No.
Yeah, you know exactly who he is. He's played PGT events.
What's his name?
Stoyan Madanziev.
Stoyan the world champ. The world champ is not the world champ.
The world champ is not the world champ. Yeah, Stoyan Madanziev.
That's no way. That can't be how you say it.
I'm 100% butchering it, but I did have to commentate on one of his final tables, and I'm pretty sure it's like Madanchev or something like that. But, I apologize, Stoyan, but I think he put out there that, like, hey, if anyone needs it, I've done this, and this when it comes to heads up, and I think Johnny Vibes linked up with him to get some coaching. Not that this is an event you should be getting coaching for, Mr. Johnny Vibes.
Why not?
Like, what do you... I don't know. I feel like that's one of those...
It's a 25K tournament with 500K up top. Why wouldn't you get coaching?
I just feel like that's one of those read the room type of things.
No.
Like because...
Take the edge when you can.
Here's why. I would not want a celebrity or a VIP to get word that the pros, I mean, I know Johnny Vibes is like, I think he's a pro, but he's also like a content creator. He's an entrepreneur, etc.
Yeah.
He's probably like what, 70% poker pro, 80% poker pro. I'm just saying it's not 100-0.
Sure.
But anyway, are getting coaching like this and making it harder for you when you're already likely at a disadvantage anyway. You know what I mean? Like I
think these guys are accepting the seat or putting their money up.
I don't know, man.
Anyway.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Like
does that mean like they can't get coaching themselves?
No, you can, but like you don't always have that same sort of access to those people because you're not in the space. Like it's just not as easy, right? Like I don't think Kevin Pollak is grinding his social media accounts and he sees Stoyan post this and then he hits him up with a DM. Like I just don't think that's happening, But maybe like I'm just using Kevin Pollak as an example. Like maybe he is like, well, these guys are doing everything. Like, I don't know. I feel like the pros are already good enough, but they don't need the extra.
You got to take every EV spot.
No, not in this. WSOP 25K heads up. Take all the effing EV you want. Okay, like in this
is the same event
made for TV. I think all the pros
same amount of players.
I think all the pros should have to go all in blind the first hand. That's what I think.
That's just terrible.
I'm joking, of course.
I would have. You know what? In a perfect world, maybe you won't agree with me. Perfect world in this, we see, the red side, all pros, black side of the bracket, the spades and the clubs, all VIPs, all celebrities, all satellite entrants, so that when we get into the final, we get 1-on-1.
Okay, so here's
In
something.
a perfect world, I would have.
Here's something I thought about, because I know there was a lot of, obviously the list gets out there when the brackets get out there, the matchups, and everyone's commenting, like, there's one part of the community that's like, how come I wasn't invited?
Yeah.
Right. There's the other part of the community that was like, where's this person? Where's this person? Where's this person? Where's that person? How did this person get it? Like all this sort of stuff. Right. So anyway, one thing that I was thinking of, do you think that there are 16 non-professionals? That's how, because like it's celebrity, it's a VIP, it's whatever. Like, so non-professional poker player. Do you think there are 16 in this field? Like, I'm talking like the Jason Calacanis, Richard Seymour. I mean, let's just go through Richard Seymour. What's Jasper? I mean, he plays enough.
Yeah, he plays.
Dylan Flashner.
We got Calacanis and Seymour too. No, Flashner plays, but he's a Hollywood producer.
I'll say Dylan Flashner. Okay,
That's
Rob
3,
Riggle.
4.
Boston Rob.
5.
What about this next one?
Just Nick Wright.
Wright. That bracket is so hard.
You could maybe count Ryan Feldman, but I don't think you can. Okay, so we're
counting
6.
6 there.
Vinny,
Bryce Hall.
How about Vinny? Where do we think of Vinny Lane?
No.
I would count him as like, I would put him in that
we'll
group.
count him for this exercise.
Hall,
Vinny,
8.
TJ Lavin for sure.
Lavin.
Philip Franklin Lee, Chef Philip Franklin Lee for sure. That's it there.
Kevin Pollak.
Yes.
Probably Charlie Hook. Like that, he's another fringe on. I would probably just lean to putting him in.
So we're at like what, 11? Here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's enough people out there that voiced wanting to potentially play. And I'm not just going to give into the mob, but I for this exercise, what if you took the 16 non-professionals and you just put them aside, all 16 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had a field of 64 of all pros, and they play down to 16, and then you combine. So you're essentially getting an 80 player field, which allows you to get more people that think they might have gotten in or that the fans wanted in, right? But then the VIPs and whatever basically get fast tracked.
Yeah, but they're in the money.
No, it's not in the money because you still have 32 players left.
So you have to win one.
I think it might be win one match. Yeah, but they're fucking. Who cares? It's made for TV event. We can do whatever we want. We can put them in the money if we want to.
I don't hate your idea at all, but I think I'd still prefer them being on one side of the bracket.
I also want to say quickly that this idea, along with the idea that I was talking about last time with like the time extensions and whatever, you know where I got this sort of exercise from? Listening to the Bill Simmons podcast and the half-baked ideas.
Mm-hmm.
That he like. This is not a fully baked idea. This is not something that I like. I'm like, yes, we should 100% do this. It's just something that I thought about, and now I'm having the thought exercise with you. So I'm just saying, like, that's a way that we can make the field bigger, because you can't really go. You and I both know we can't go from 64 to 128, even if we think that we could get 128 with how many people voiced all their stuff. Like, that's just. It's like an extra 2 days of play. It's so ridiculous. Everything is so expensive. Can you really say, hey, Kevin Pollak, come take 5 days off your life? Like, it's hard enough to get these guys to take 2 or 3 days off their lives, right? I
think that, you can have your pros that you really want to, there's certain people we definitely wanted to play this event. Like you talk about the Negranos, the Helmets, the Ivies. We definitely want some of these VIPs. And then, there's going to be whatever, we'll call it, say, 16 spots that are like very pro heavy. I think there's a world where you could do that. Could be a play-in. You could do a play-in at Aria or somewhere else where you're all of these pros want to play. I'm getting DMs. You've got some. Brent Hank's got some. Why aren't I in? Why couldn't I play? Here, can I get on the list? Get them to. You want to play down. Play down to from whatever it is, 32 to 8 or 32 to 16, and qualify. To get in this event, if you want to be such
along
part
those lines. So, 2 things. One, they used to do a satellite to this tournament.
Yeah, we definitely need,
because that's how Justin Young got an invite this year. Somebody dropped out later. I can't remember who, but Justin Young got the call. He was in. But he talked about on the Table One podcast a few episodes ago. By the way, Table One podcast I listen to that freaking thing religiously. It is great. I'm about 70% of the way through the last one with your boy Adam Hendricks. But anyway, Justin Young, when he first played it, he won a satellite.
Mm-hmm.
He got heads up with the guy. The guy didn't want it, so Justin basically bought the seat from the guy for cheaper. So whatever. Another thing that makes me think of this. Remember the Epic Poker League?
Yeah.
They used to have like that Pro-Am right before, but like the winner of the Pro-Am also got into the big one, which was like a closed event. Like you had to like have these certain credentials and stuff like that. You had to basically be like a certain type of player, enough earnings, whatever, to have the right to buy in, right? But if you won the Pro-Am as well, you like got in. So like what if there was just like generally like a satellite or like you said, like a smaller bracket or whatever it is, and then that person wins in? You know, like I think that would be cool where, you know, yeah, if people out there, the pros that think they got snubbed, if they want to come play the satellite, great. But also people like, let's say you and I want to fire and try and get in. I think that just creates a cool story. So like I would almost reserve like one seat for like a qualifier and just be like, hey, you know, this is what's going to be done. So yeah, I don't know. Again, just kind of kicking ideas around because I was thinking like, how could you expand the field? You can't really go to 128 for the reasons that we mentioned. But if you did what I said, where you have 64 like pros, and then you have the 16 VIPs that basically get fast tracked to the front, you know, that allows you to get up to 80, which is a nice bump there. But you know, I'm just throwing ideas around. So, but overall, again, I thought the draw party went super well. I'm happy with how things played out. I'm excited to see how it all comes together. I mean, I know Tim and I obviously were privy to being here and we watched it all play out, but it's one thing to watch things in person. It's another thing to, I'm just hitting my mic all over the place. It's another thing to just sit at home on the couch and watch it on TV and watch the final product, right? I mean, the guys in the back, the production team, they're going to cook up their magic.
I've been told 10 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. You know, I mean, we talked about some of these matchups. There's a lot of good stuff in here.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, you know, I think all in all, I think it was very cool. I thought the set was freaking incredible. You might have saw some of it through some of the social media videos, the photos or whatever that went out from the draw party and whatnot. But the entire studio was, you know, done over. All these small tables. This table right here, this is one of the tables that if you guys can see it in the video, this is one of the tables that Tim and I hijacked. You know, we talked to our guy Justin and we said, hey,
it's going to be a PokerGO Podcast table soon.
We're gonna refelt it. Yes.
Yeah, new logo, everything.
We're gonna refelt it in every show. We're gonna play heads up for $100, and we're just gonna.
I'm gonna be stuck.
We're just gonna
thousands.
We're just gonna keep playing. No, just kidding. So yeah, so I'm excited to see how it all plays out. This is, I mean, the show is supposed to be back, like meaning this isn't just a one-off type of thing.
Yeah,
I think some people might point to the fact that we did that PGT Heads Up Showdown, that Chino Ream one a couple years ago, and then we like never did it again. So, you know, was that our, you know, try at bringing this back? I mean, maybe I don't exactly know, but whatever. But that happened. It was a one-time thing. Whatever. I mean, this is back. You know, we're supposed to do it for multiple years. I know you've already been thinking and kind of like soft planning for the next one. So. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this one plays out. I'm excited to.
You do have a good idea of bringing that PGT heads up. Maybe it's like, let's say we're doing this, you know, March or April next year. You know, we bring the heads up.
You know my
back,
idea with the PGT Heads Up tournament,
but just
I think
as
that
a lead-in.
I think the PGT Heads Up tournament should be. This is another half-baked idea, but this is probably more like 3/4 baked.
Ooh, nearly ready.
Like you could take it out and eat it, but like, and you wouldn't get sick.
Got it. Okay.
That this should be like basically the PGT's in-season tournament where we have the PGT leaderboard, so the top, let's say 32 get the right to play. So the top 32 get invited and they can buy in. Now, people might say like, why would they buy in? And I'll say, because if you're in the 32, the reason why you buy, like we could do a rake free, for example. The reason that you get to buy in is you get a chance at bonus points.
I've already written this.
And maybe
stealing my idea.
No, this has been my idea, and you and I have talked about it for a long time. And maybe you just get a couple bonus points, like let's say 20, if you just buy in. So like you just buy in and play, you get some bonus points. And then we just literally it's seeded. One plays 32.
That's exactly the idea.
I know because you and I've brought this idea up to you before, and you do it like at the halfway point of the season. And it's a bonus
was you got points for entering.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and if you didn't want your spot, it just rolled down the PGT leaderboard.
Yeah,
So 32
sure.
opts out, 33 comes in.
Yeah,
but you get guaranteed points and kind of thing.
And maybe listen, if it's too hard to get 32, you just roll a 16.
Yeah.
But that's the bit and that incentivizes people like, listen, if I am in the top 16 for the first half of the season, I get to play in this event. And then that's, maybe you could even do it something where like the winner of that tournament just gets fast tracked to the championship.
Yeah.
We can play with it, but that's what I think we should do. So I also think, and I think I brought this up to you while the National Heads Up Poker Championship was happening the other day, is that I am baffled, and this is also on us. Like, from the time Mike Mattisau won it last till a couple weeks ago when we brought this back, how come no one tried to do this? It's not that complicated to do a heads-up poker tournament made for TV. If you want to do 32 players, if you want to do 64, whatever the heck, call it something different. Obviously, you can't. We acquired this brand. Okay, like we acquired the National Heads Up Poker Championship brand from NBC. We now own the brand. We owned all the past content, all the IP, etc. But you didn't have to do that. Like, I think WPT could have done it. WSOP, like anyone could have done it. So one-off person could have just made it. I mean, like, that was such a big, iconic show. It was so cool. Ratings were great. Like, so why can't I just bring that back? But that also is on us. Like, why didn't we also bring it back? And maybe that was the try with the PGT Heads Up Showdown, because even though it was called the PGT Heads Up Showdown, it technically wasn't a PGT event, which is very weird. But that's on us, and maybe we should have done it, right? But I just find it kind of interesting that no one did it. It's almost like the National Heads Up Poker Championship went away when NBC no longer was doing it, and everyone kind of thought, oh, that's sacred ground, we don't want to touch it. When it probably would have been great. But anyway, that's that. So, National Heads Up Poker Championship, you guys can stay tuned to, this podcast, social media channels, whatever. As things start coming out when this is going to air, which I believe it's supposed to be in a couple of months, we'll put the word out. We'll let you guys know. Maybe we'll do some kind of watch-alongs or recap pods or whatever. I'm excited to watch it through, see how everything played out on the screen, and I hope you guys are as well.
And a reminder, new season. Every Monday, on PokerGO.
I mean, it's great old content. Yeah. It's nostalgia just through and through. Club WPT Gold. So they rolled out this update recently, which this was a couple days ago. Is this still on? Like, they have not canceled this, right? You're the one who plays on Club WPT Gold. So
I have been playing this week, and I cannot confirm or deny if I've used this function.
You for sure used it. So basically, what you can do is, at the end of a hand, in a cash game, right? Or is it also in tournaments?
Only cash games.
Okay, only cash games. Which I'm not even sure if they're called cash games.
Ring games.
Ring games. Okay, ring games. Because this is a sweepstakes poker site. You can pay some sort of money, which I'm assuming is like some sort of big blinds
it's like,
in relation to like the limits that you're playing.
It's like a small blind.
And you can reveal like the folded cards at the table, which seems like the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Very fishy.
I saw this news get dropped, and I was like, my first thought was like, is this? I like triple checked the account. I'm like, is this like one of those like fake
April
accounts
Fool's
that somebody's like,
joke,
one of these people on social media that always have fun with people and create memes and whatever? Like, are they just like making fun of this sort of stuff? Like, this seems like the most ridiculous update. I mean, you have Doug Polk criticized it in a video. He's an ambassador for them. He's got code Doug everywhere. Like, hey, sign up for Club WPT Gold, but also this is ridiculous. You got Matt Berkey saying that this is actually sick. You got Brian Rass saying this is one of the worst ideas I've ever heard in poker. Sean Deeb, in standard Sean Deeb, just one sentence word salad fashion on social media, said the fact that you haven't canceled this yet is just awful marketing. You were crushing it and long term going to kill your site. I mean, I don't understand why you would do this.
Money grab.
See, that's kind of like what, like, I don't want to like get someone in trouble for something that they haven't done yet, but this, it feels like a money grab in the sense that, like, I feel like when all the stuff happened with online poker back in the day, I don't know, maybe this is revisionist history, but I feel like a lot of stuff was getting launched on Full Tilt Poker to like start grabbing more money. Like, they had all these, like, you could play the same tournament like multiple times at the same time. Yeah, I know, but like, was that a money grab because they kind of knew that the stuff was about to get shut down? And like, there's a lot of stuff now where sweepstakes sites are like in the crosshairs of a lot of, lawmakers and states and whatnot. So is this like, I don't know. It's just very weird.
I think it's a little bit of both. It's like, hey, obviously we can make a bit of extra money here. It's also maybe, we don't know who's running Club WPT. They may think this isn't actually a good idea, and we don't know. Obviously, there's a lot of negatives out there, but when Full Tilt launched the multi-entry and the re-entries, or even when we extended late registration, right? Everyone was like, oh, this is, I don't know about this. And now it becomes the norm. The big blind ante. Everyone was, oh, I don't know about this. Now it's the norm. So obviously this one probably will lean to not happening again. But, operators, hey, even us, PGT, we try things. We try things new, different. Some work, some don't. Obviously this one is getting a lot of negativity. So it's a bit of both. I think it's a little bit of a, hey, let's grab some money. Hey, let's try something new. Let's offer players something. But let's also think, who does this benefit the most? I think
the pros.
What? No, benefits the fish the most. Sorry, no. I'm rephrasing that wrong. Who's going to use it the most? The fish. Yeah, right. Which is bad long term.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, but what is
so it benefits the pros?
No, because in a way, then the fish go, or there's less fish playing. But the way I see it is, what percentage of players on Club WPT?
Yes, no, you're right.
If it's 90%, then
it doesn't really benefit the pros. It actually it makes ultimately what this. If you're like going to say like what's worst case scenario, basically all the bad players are constantly clicking reveal, right? So they're just pissing away their bankroll every single time, and they're probably doing it. And if they're bad players, at least the potential is higher that they're clicking it, and then they're not actually learning from what they see. So like they're just like seeing, oh, he had ace jack, he bluffed me.
Knew it.
But they're not actually, they're not actually like thinking it through fully, right? So their bankroll is just getting depleted. So then where I misspoke is that in turn, the bad players die out from the site because their bankroll is getting depleted, and then it becomes harder for the pros, right? So so I had that wrong. But anyway, so overall, like for site health, like I don't feel like that's good.
I think that, the fact that the money goes straight to Club WPT,
that's also ridiculous.
That's probably the worst thing. Now, if the money was like, if it was like a splash pot, that would probably be.
Well, the money should go to the player,
but you see all the hands.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly. Like basically, the site should take like max 10%, and even that's free money for them.
Yeah.
And that would probably just add up over time, or they do something like you said, a splash pot or whatever. I don't know. Part of me also is like, you have someone like Doug Polk who is an ambassador, right? You have someone who's a Brad Owen who is an ambassador. You have someone who's, I think Tony Dunst is extremely well versed in the online poker scene. Like you didn't ask these people, because I'm pretty sure they would have all said like, "What are you doing? Like this is ridiculous." Like so you like I don't understand how this is a thing. So
I'll admit I have used it once.
Of course you have.
Because I just wanted to honestly see what it did.
How long does it show on your screen?
Not long. It's
so like, so for example, you're playing with what?
2 seconds.
7 other people.
Yeah.
And you see all the hands. So can you see them? Are you able to be like, blah, 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 like, okay, I got all 7 in my head.
I think you can, when you hit the hand history button, you can see it. You can see it there. Look, I'll tell you the hand I had. I have had like Queen 10 on a Queen 10 export, whatever, and it went like 6-6. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this guy has like aces. I bet folded or check folded the river. I just was like, oh, I'm going to see it here. So all I was doing was looking at his hand, and it revealed, and I actually didn't check the hand history. So I actually don't know if it's the hand history or if it just pops up, because I was only looking at one hand to just test the feature out. But
now I know obviously the easy thing for the site to say is like, well, this helps prevent collusion. I mean, okay.
They can also say it helps players get better, which,
but like
maybe.
If you just have the correct security protocols in place, you should be preventing collusion anyway.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't rely on like Tim Duckworth seeing some hand and be like, oh, that's weird. He folded top pair to this guy for, 1/10 pot. That's very weird. Can you check into this? So yeah. So I don't know. You
probably shouldn't be able to see, like there should be scenarios where you shouldn't really be able to see all the cards, right? Like,
I mean, listen, poker is a game of incomplete information.
Yeah.
I mean, like, So I think this is ultimately going to make this site tougher in the long run if it sticks around, and the bad players are the ones that are using it, or using it a lot more, and they're just going to deplete their bankrolls a bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think pros are really ever going to use this.
No.
I mean, one, because Club WPT Gold just recently launched multi-table too, right? So like they're probably playing a million tables, like whatever. There's on to the next hand, like So anyway, I just think it's weird and off-putting to me.
I feel like if this was available in tournaments, I've been playing more tournaments on there. I feel like I might use it there more. Okay. But like, how do you determine like the price? But
true. So I also thought it was interesting that this happens, right? So it's like, it's very much from the community side. Looking at Club WPT Gold, it was negative, right? Then you have GGPoker, who launches what they call streamer mode.
Yeah.
Which, at least from what I could tell and the people that I talked to, is like, okay, this is very cool. This is a positive. This is innovative. Like, look at this. So it's just funny to me to juxtapose the two, like biggest competitors, and they're doing like complete opposite things that are viewed completely opposite from the community. And what streamer mode is basically GGPoker, from what they said and what I gathered, is that they look at the poker streaming landscape, not like poker streaming like what PokerGO does, poker streaming like what Jason Somerville pioneered, right? So like on Twitch, on YouTube, that sort of stuff, streaming yourself playing online and whatever. And they said, you know what? It seems like it's kind of dying, and it's very hard for these people, these streamers out there, to make an adequate sort of living from it, because it's gotten harder to make money from Twitch or whatever, right? I mean, that's at least the thesis of this. So what they're doing is they're offering perks to people that want to stream. And the biggest perk is 100% rake back while you're streaming, which is ridiculous. I mean, that sounds incredible. Now, you do have to meet like some benchmarks in order to qualify. You do have to get approved by GGPoker to be like an authorized streamer or whatever. But the perks are 100% rake back while you're streaming, whole card and balance hiding to protect against giving away info, a streamer panel to help you manage multiple tables, and then a visibility boost with streams showcased inside the GGPoker client, and then a special avatar border as well. So I'm assuming, in the client it shows that like so-and-so streaming and whatever. Now, to qualify, you need to have 3 months of consistent streaming that can be on Twitch or YouTube, and you have to average 40 viewers, which doesn't seem that high, but there are plenty of people who I've like checked in on Twitch and whatever, and it's like 16, 8, it's so it I think that this is good because it makes basically the streamer work for it. Like, you can't just slap up a stream tomorrow, have 2 viewers, and get 100% rake back. This is like, you have to reach this benchmark. So yeah, then you have to apply, you have to get approved, and you have to link all your accounts and all of that sort of stuff. If you do abuse the system, manipulating stats, having bots, whatever the heck, you're going to lose access. So overall, again, I think that they looked at streaming viewership and they think it's been trending down, which I think I would agree with. Even just like anecdotally from me, like I used to watch more poker streams. I don't watch really any at all other than maybe Lex Veldhouse. So even just that, like, I'm just drawn to it less, which tells me it's just less popular. I mean, maybe it's just a me thing, but who knows? And then they're hoping that this, this combination of, some financial upside with that 100% rake back, which if you're playing a high volume, that can add up to quite a bit. Some better tech, some tools, all that sort of stuff. It's good for the streamers, right? Now, what does GGPoker get out of this? Well, if you're streaming from GGPoker's platform and they get a whole bunch more people streaming and being successful with streaming, that's marketing, that's brand awareness, that's promotion for GGPoker.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing here. That's the play, right? So, and it also, I think it's a good narrative thing. Again, like you have over here, you have Club WPT Gold doing this, which was negatively viewed by the community. Over here, you got GGPoker doing this, which is like, wow, this is great. And also, if you want to combine it, GGPoker recently bought the WSOP. We're coming off a great WSOP. The app WSOP Plus was received super well. That was obviously implemented by GGPoker. Like, everything is kind of going like very positive for GGPoker. So this is like another thing that's just great.
Mm-hmm.
My question is can one operator, even with, a fairly large financial support in the fact that they're giving 100% rake back, which, I mean, maybe they approve 1,000 people. I mean, that could add up to a lot of money, right? Can they actually turn poker streaming like into a thing again? Can they make that growth come back?
I think they can. It's just not going to be overnight. It's going to take a while, right? You're going to have to slowly bring these people in, slowly approve them. It's going to slowly increase streaming traffic. That's going to increase the GGPoker traffic. And then it's going to slowly widen out. So yes, they can. It's not going to be instantaneous. When this news came out, the first thing I did was look to see if that also included WSOP.com.
Same. I did the same.
Yeah.
I was like, well, maybe I'll start streaming.
Exactly. That's exactly what I thought. Because I was like, they say 40 average viewers. And, if you're not streaming, like you kind of touched on, if you're not in the streaming, that's easy. But if you're going to stream 6 hours, you got to be entertaining. You either got to be good at poker or entertaining, hopefully both. Have a good stream, have good quality. That's not easy, right? It's not super tough either. But I think this is a great step forward, and it's a big step forward to try and, fix something. And if we're talking about GG, in general, like you touched on, WSOP Plus app, great for the live players here in Las Vegas, when they go to Europe, when they go to Paradise. Now we've got this for the guys that, staying in Europe or wherever they are playing online, streaming, trying to get that GGPoker brand out there. They are doing, don't want to say as much as they can, but they're doing quite a lot to really do their part to grow the game. And obviously, what's that saying about the rising tides?
A rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah, I think, this is kind of one part of it. Now, if ClubWPT, if Global Poker, if, we talk about the streaming outlets like us, PokerGO, Hustle Casino Live, can do all our parts, and, the whole poker industry could definitely grow and get bigger with, positive initiatives like this one.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Ultimately, I can't say whether I'm like too confident that it's going to work. It might flop. But I do like the thinking here. I think it is pretty innovative. And I do want it to work because ultimately I think that it'll be a good thing for poker, right? I think just more poker out there from content for people to consume, get sucked into the game, all that sort of stuff is just ultimately a good thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely for this. So we'll see if it works. We'll obviously monitor it and, we'll check in on it from time to time, should we need to. A quick break here while I tell you that this podcast is also brought to you by True Classic, our friends over at True Classic, as Tim almost falls on his ass over here. The go-to for high-quality, great-fitting men's apparel that won't break the bank. Tops, bottoms, activewear, all available over at TrueClassicTees.com. This year, True Classic has teamed up with us, PokerGO, and here at the PokerGO studio for something big, an end-of-year event coming in December right here at the PokerGO studio, and you could win your way to play in it. You could win a $5,000 package. It includes a buy-in, $3,300 to the tournament, and we are giving away 15 packages. That's $75,000 in packages. All you have to do is go to TrueClassicTees.com/TCPokerGo and share your story, and then you could be one of the 15 winners coming out to Las Vegas to chase the dream. So let's go, TrueClassicTees.com/TCPokerGo to get your entry in today. All right, your neck of the woods, Kangaroo Boy, Aussie Millions.
Yeah.
They released a press release. They said it's coming back April 24th through May 10th. What the heck do we know? What is happening here? Like, is it back as we know it? It's obviously a different time slot. So, yeah. Tell me. I love Aussie Millions. Tell me.
I love Aussie Millions, so I don't know that much. I did have a meeting with them. Wanted to just chat about poker in general. It's obviously been quite a few years since they've been around and the poker industry.
When was the last year?
2020.
2020.
Yeah. So the landscape has changed. So, I wanted to give them advice. They had questions for me. Talked a little bit about streaming, talked a little bit about this and that. Obviously, moving to April, that's the biggest change, right? That's the window where the old Victorian Poker Championships used to be, the Melbourne Poker Championships prior to that.
Yeah, but why? I don't understand April.
Main reason is, January. Okay, obviously January, beautiful time in Australia, great weather. You got the Australian Poker Open, the Australian Tennis Open. You got some cricket. You got just great weather, right? But does Crown really need to throw a poker tournament on?
Yes.
They have enough going on there. So I think they're just moving the window. They're moving it down into maybe like a less busy spot. So we're talking maybe discounted rooms, cheaper rooms for people traveling. Obviously, weather's not as great, but hey, you can watch some Aussie rules football. So that's good enough for me. So I think that's the main reason with moving to that window. Just basically, having availability in the casino in general when everything else is so busy in that Christmas kind of period. Schedule wise, it's still, they've got like a rough template of what they're doing. They're still working stuff out. It's still trying to figure things out. I believe it's going to be, the 10K main event again. And they understand that this year is not going to be big. They understand that, hey, we're coming back, but this is the building block for the next year and then the next year and so forth, which makes a lot of sense. The one thing that, when I talk to them about is just, and I'm hoping, obviously, we don't have a massive audience, but if the people listening at home pass it on, that are thinking of going, the biggest thing that I want to tell people is I think a lot of people are under the wrong impression of the laws and regulations in Australia when it comes to playing. We have heard things where you can only play 12 hours, you could only play 2 hours at a time, then you have to go take a break. Well, that makes a pretty not fun poker experience, and I don't know how tournaments would ever work. But they informed me that is actually for cash games and for table games. And it's I think they said it was 36 hours you have to you get a max in a week. So if you're a 1-2 no limit player, 2-5 grinder, you're thinking about traveling the Aussie Millions to play cash, might not want to do that. You got 36 hours max. But if you're playing tournaments, no difference. It's no different to what you experience here in Vegas. They're going to have their normal kind of, you 12 to 1 a.m. kind of tournament time. So if you are a tournament player thinking about going, it's normal. Those regulations don't really apply for you. But if you play cash or you want to play blackjack or baccarat or craps, whatever that is, that's where those kind of hour restrictions come in. But for tournaments, completely fine. It's normal. You can go play every event under the sun.
Just reading from PokerNews.com's article, Will Schillebeyer wrote this. He mentioned that the 2026 edition will feature 18 tournaments.
Okay.
Estimated 14 million Aussie prize pool, which is approximately 9 million USD. And then buy-ins are going to range 1,500 Aussie to 25,000. They're going to have the 10,600 Aussie main event, as you mentioned, which is about $7,000 for US, at least right now. So we'll see how things play out. I freaking love this tournament. I think it's absolutely incredible. I love Australia. I would love to go back for this.
Take the pod on the road.
Take the pod on the road. That would be incredible. If Crown will have us, I will freaking be there.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's freaking go. But yeah, I mean, this tournament it's always been incredible.
Yep.
You obviously know. And it's a lot of fun. So I felt like in a lot of ways when it went away, we lost one of our majors. The Crown Aussie Millions main event was like always one of the big 4 or 5 tournaments in the world. So, hopefully it comes back and also, hopefully that they do it right.
Yeah.
So I think they should listen to you. Just do whatever you say, basically. I mean, that's what I think.
I mean, yeah, look, I think people have to understand that this is, they're dipping their foot back in the water. It's not going to be thousands and thousands of players in their main event, but
what was the biggest one they ever had? Do we know? Probably in this
971.
No, never got over 900.
Oh,
2019, so the second to last one, they had 822.
Okay.
2018 was 800, then it was 822, then it was 820. I always thought one of my favorite things...
It's a freezer, right? It is a freezer.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to write about and talk about was how whatever the Aussie Millions did, the WSOP main event field size would mirror that.
Yeah.
For like the longest time. It was like the weirdest thing ever. So,
Because you guys copy us.
yeah, sure. But, then they didn't have it for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, what a freaking tournament
But
this was.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they put together, like schedule-wise. And if we're involved, who knows? We'll see what kind of happens. But yeah, looking forward to it finally coming back. And obviously, each year it's going to keep growing. So
yeah, let's go. Let's go Australia, baby. Come on, baby. As we were talking about it, I went to AussieMillions.com. It redirected me to the Crown website.
Okay.
Then I clicked about the Aussie Millions Discover page. Then it said join our poker community. I clicked that. Brings me to a Facebook group.
Yeah.
And I just submitted to enter it.
Okay.
I'm in. I'm fully back in. I'm fully in, baby. Let's go. Give me all the freaking Lamingtons. And what do I drink for the coffee? Flat white? No, I don't drink flat white.
You're a short black guy.
Short black. Yeah. Give me that. Let's go, baby. Come on. I'm ready to go. And that sweet money. That sweet money. Oh, it's incredible. All right. Let's go to Cyprus. Onyx Super High Roller Series. Couple events that we want to talk about here. I think this series overall is still going. But they had a 10K buy-in, what is called the GG Millions. I think it's just called the GG Millions. $5 million guaranteed prize pool, $1 million first place prize. Musa Ahmad from Lebanon wins it all for $1 million, topping a field of 510 entries. Jamil Wakil out of Canada. I believe he made the final table of VPT Monte Carlo.
That's
also
the one with the misclick. No.
Misclick, slow roll, angle, whatever the heck you want to call it. Yeah, it was that one. He finished his second for $650K. Big tournament here. And then I also want to hit on the fact that Jesse Lonis won the $102,000 Onyx Super High Roller Series Invitational. He was paired with Johan Gilbert, Yo Viral. And I think I saw Yo Viral say on social media that he backed Jesse in this tournament for 50% of his action.
Wow.
So Lonis won this. They made a deal heads up for $1.75 million. So I think half of it went to Johan, half of it goes to Jesse. I guess I just wanted to touch on those two winners as a jumping off point. I mean, this series looks like it's the new kid on the block.
Well,
the fields look big.
Yeah.
They look juicy. They're getting a lot of big names there. We've seen a lot of the big Finnish guys are over there now for some of the PLO stuff that's happening. I just mentioned Jesse Lonis. I know Nick Schulman is over there. Eric Wasserson, Phil Ivey is in the mix. So yeah, I mean, they have buy-ins, like they have that 10K, they have a 50K, they have 100Ks, like they got all this sort of stuff. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this series like just has arrived, like kind of out of nowhere. And it's been good. It's been fun to watch it. It's been fun to follow it. And yeah, I think it's on the map.
Well, it was around last year. It was our series. So it's that same window. It's this very similar events, but yes, it's more Onyx based. It's more linked with with Triton and GG. But yeah, it's first of all, Cyprus, beautiful hotel, beautiful beach, beautiful pools there. A great venue to go to. Great service, everything. So I can understand why people are heading there to go play this event. One event you can't, there's a lot of events. In one event, there was a 100K PLO that wrapped up. Two of our kind of PLO regulars, Lataro Guerrero, third place, Samuli. They made a 3-way deal.
Samuli Cipolla?
Yeah. What did I say? Samuli. Yeah. Ben Lamb was at that final table. Laszlo Bushtis was at the final table. Trying to think who else. Martin Dam was at that final table. All guys that play here in our studio, but 100K PLO event.
What about Phil Ivey?
He did not final table that, but 1.9 million there for the first. They did, like I said, 3-way deal.
Who is this guy who's in first place? Donnie.
That's you.
There was another one. Did you see the other one?
Dubai Police.
Dubai Police.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing?
Well,
what are you?
That might have been his name.
No, there's no shot that was it. He's like, put Dubai Police.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But yeah, it's from possibly the new high roller series out there in Cyprus. Good time. People want to get out of Vegas.
What do you mean possibly? It for sure is.
Well, let's see if they do it next year. But
I mean, after the success that I feel like I saw here, Jesse Lonis finished 6th place in his other tournament.
They've got also the Onyx, cash game room. It's got like I think 4 or 5 tables in it. That's where they do the live streams from.
Does Jesse Lonis lose at poker? I mean, what the hell?
No, he's got angels and gorillas in his on his shoulder, so never.
I mean, his arrival on the content creation scene is certainly entertaining.
Yeah.
I'll say that. So yeah. Anyway, I just want to kind of mention the Onyx Super High Roller Series stuff.
Should we talk about Monarch?
I mean, I don't even know where this thing came from. What you're talking about, Monarch versus.
Okay, so it started
Jungle Man
2 weeks ago somewhere in Europe, and they had a $2 million heads-up cash game. Kate's lost. Monarch won.
Yeah, but it came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
it was like all of a sudden I saw like something on like somebody tweeted something or something, and I was like, "What the hell is like happening?"
They come here, and he played a heads-up match with Cameron Mockery or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think he lost $2 million to him. Wanted to play again. It was like 3 a.m. in Cyprus time, and Mark was like, "No, I gotta go." So they didn't play. Next night they played Kate's. I think Kate's won $1 million. Then Monarch won $1 million. Then they played again. Monarch won $1 million. Then they played for $3 million. Kate's won. Then they went to 5, and then they got to 6. It was just absurdity. And then the next night they played a full ring cash game. Monarch dusted $600K pretty quickly.
I mean, who the hell is Monarch? Nothing against the guy. I just it's like out of nowhere. Yeah. It was like I just saw something on social media. It was like Jungle Man's playing Monarch. I was like, who the hell is Monarch?
Yeah, he's in. He's a Finnish guy. He's like he owns like an esports company. I think he owns. Like,
I'm assuming
casino. Like
I just always assume crypto. Like I just assume crypto. Yep. And it's just like, what the hell just happened?
So
it was also very weird to watch them play. I mean, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I tuned in here and there. But like, one part is. They're playing this insanely high stakes matchup, but they had like no chips on the table.
I think that's what they wanted.
I know, but it was just weird from a viewing standpoint. And then second, they're like across this massive table.
Yeah.
And like 90% of the time that I was watching, Jungle Man's on his phone. Yeah. So I'm just confused.
It was, they're on their phone. That wasn't great. But I mean, it was great to watch. Some of the hands, Monarch did this hand where he triple barreled 6 high, and Kate's I think he had kings up, and he ended up folding the river. But crazy action. Yeah, they're on their phones a lot. There wasn't much table talk. They had 2 dealers. Remember when they did that at Aussie Millions like 15 years ago?
I do remember that.
They had one dealer dealing. They had one dealer shuffling, so that was good. They're doing some different things with split screens.
I could have this wrong, but I think Crown was the first to do that. Not during Aussie Millions, but remember they had that speed poker challenge?
Speed poker challenge. Rob Huxley. Yeah. The first use of shot clocks was the speed poker. But look, it was entertaining. Who knows where he gets his money from? Every time he lost, he wanted to play bigger, play for side money. Kate's wanted odds. He gave him odds as long as Kate's upped the buy-in from $5 million to $6 million. He's giving him $3.6 million to $3 million odds. There was like group chats with all these side bets in it and stuff. It was, I don't know, it was pretty crazy. It was enjoyable to watch. I watched 90% of it, I think. So very unplanned, because even the commentators were just like, I was on the golf course and I got told that
I got called in that I had to just whatever.
I had to come down and jump in the booth. So they didn't even know what was going on, but it was very entertaining, and I hope we see some more Monarch cash games.
I kind of hope that I was thinking about this too. Like I hope he just pops up like once every 2 years. Like he doesn't become a thing, because then it makes it like more special. If he's just like this unicorn, and like you have no idea when he's going to pop up. Kind of like, at least my memory, how I think about Isildur. Before he was Victor Blom. Like you never knew when he was going to play. And then he would just pop up, Real Heaven, boom, they're going. Like that's it. Like it's like, oh, he's playing Antonius heads up for $1 bazillion. Like, let's go.
We talked a little bit earlier about the highrollpoker.com website. Aussie Katola, who is Monarch, he is the very top of the losing leaderboard. He's lost $17.492 million.
So he's the new Gila Liberté.
In 16 hours of play. Now, it doesn't have his win versus Jungle, the first win for $2 million. So let's just interpret this with a grain of salt. His hourly is -$1 million. The next worst loser, is that the right next best loser? Anyway, has only lost 7.7.
The next biggest loser.
Next biggest loser, 7.7. And if we go to the top,
Who's down 7.7?
Tan Zwan. They did an article on him on Poker News literally 3 days ago about him losing all this money, and then Monarch takes his spot. On top, Dan Cates, $14.5 million. He's hourly, $33K. It has rankings of how many spots they moved up. He moved up 4,095 spots on this leaderboard. There's only like 4,200 players that they're tracking, but it was
so
very
like, will they track Cash of the Titans?
I'm assuming so. It has high stakes poker episodes, has no gamble, no future, has streams. So I'm
should.
assuming they'll add the we'll see where Gavri really sits.
Okay. I like it. I like it a lot.
But before we move on,
I mean, I was going to say, before we move on, you got something for the people.
Yeah, we'll go for the people. We've got another code word for these guys listening at home. We are giving a seat to the $1 Million Championship. You can represent the PokerGO Podcast. All you got to do, pgt.com/dream seat. All the promotions are there, but in particular, we have one where you're going to go to Gleam. It's like the social media website where you can retweet and follow us and do all these things and earn tickets, and we draw a winner. A couple months left in that. For 10 raffle tickets, you got to enter a code word. You can go back, listen to some last episodes, put in the code word if you want to get those 10 tickets. This week's code word, it's fitting. It's Monarch. The new hero in the high stakes cash game world, Monarch, Monarch. Put that in. You get 10 extra raffle tickets. If you haven't done it before, that's fine. You get tickets for following us, retweeting some PGT tweets, visiting certain pages on our website. And if you go listen to the last 5 or 6 pods, you can get those keywords too, put them in. But yeah, we're trying to put someone in the PGT $1 Million Championship, represent us, sit against Osmus, Negrano, Foxen, the heroes of the PGT, hopefully kick them out, knock them out, and win the PGT Championship for yourself.
Let's go. WSOP Paradise. They dropped their schedule December 4th through 18th down in the Bahamas at the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort. I believe that's a couple days earlier than last year. Maybe I'm wrong there, but that's my recollection. 15 gold bracelet events. The super main event returns. That's not new news, of course. They did announce that during this summer's WSOP main event, but it returns with a $60 million guarantee. They said, you know what? 50 wasn't enough. It doesn't matter. We're going to 60. Let's go, baby. I mean, wild.
Well,
wild. They also have a $2,750 circuit championship mystery bounty with a $5 million guarantee. That's
the TOC, right? That's basically the new TOC.
I think so, yes. Yeah. That's also the lowest buy-in on the schedule.
Yeah.
This is very much made for high buy-in players. Some would say super players. They have the $5,300 Super Colossus, and then they have 6 Triton events. At least that's what I count. Okay. 6 events had the Triton name in them. So, I mean, thoughts on the schedule?
Well, first of all, it's very ballsy upping the guarantee after you missed it the year before. But
wait, I thought they made it.
Well, with the way they do the numbers, they missed it.
How do you know? I think they made it.
No.
Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter.
They made it, yes, and then they have to still take the fees out after they made it, so it actually went under.
Got it.
So that's ambitious, but good on them, putting more money in the community. This is, without doubt, a high roller only series. And that's fine. If that's what they're targeting, I get it. You got all these big buy-in events, lots of entries, lots of re-entries. It's a very expensive trip, chasing bracelets. You talk about that $2,700 circuit event. If I know you do win a package, right? If you qualify, is that enough? If you're a circuit grinder, because you can't. If you're, let's talk about these circuit grinders. 98% of them, this is a big buy-in, $2,700, right? They play a lot smaller. They're grinders. They're playing the 400s, the 6s, the 800s, etc. So will they decide to go there to play, a mystery bounty event, knowing that they probably can't really play anything else? Or will they give that up to possibly play something with more value to them, maybe here in Las Vegas? So it is what this schedule is. It's built for high rollers. I hate it. Honestly.
What?
I don't like it. It's a high roller bracelet series.
Yeah, so I don't mind that. I feel like there is certainly appetite in the market
Yes, there is.
for this sort of stuff.
Yeah, there is.
The part I don't like, I mean, I understand why they did it, but I personally just don't think that they need to do it. Like, I don't think you need to partner with Triton. I think the WSP brand itself is big enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I would do this on my own. Like, I think you can do it on your own. I think the WSP...
If you didn't have a Triton event, I guess they'll ask themselves, if we didn't have the Triton, would we still get the same numbers in those high rollers? Does having that Triton brand bring some of those real Triton loyalists, out to play this event, and possibly maybe
I think a lot of those Triton players would love to come to WSOP in the States, but for various reasons they don't, largely taxes and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is the Bahamas. So I think that they would probably go down here and play. So I mean maybe you lose a percentage of them, but I still think you would get enough. I also think that if you just did a lot of qualification to all these different buy-ins on the GGPoker platform, which I'm sure they do anyway, yes, but you're going to get a lot of those guys that are playing there that are like, okay, I'll take some shots and win in. Maybe I win into this 100K or whatever. So
I just still wish this was just, I know there's a little battle going on. I just really wish this was in January. Different time, because we're going to probably touch on a little bit the win, the WPT World Championship here
for sure.
At the win. But don't forget, one of the biggest stops in Europe is running at the same time as this, EPT Prague. And that had, I believe, record-breaking numbers last year, right?
Is that back?
Yeah, I have it on my schedule. I
can't remember if it's been back or not. I mean, it's probably back. But
yeah, it is. I have some of the days.
It's back. December 3rd through 14th.
I just don't like the battle.
EPT Prague.
There's when you're talking about 50K buy-ins, 25K buy-ins, 100K buy-ins, it's a very small player pool. And, you have these events on at EPT Prague. They have a 50K super high roller. They have a 10K high roller and their 5K main. You've got the win, whatever they're going to be doing. It's really stretching that player pool out. So just if this was November, if this was January, if this was a different time, you can have 100% of the market share. And then you can have your 15 high buy-in events. You could also probably have another 20 lower buy-in events and really make this, a second World Series outside of Vegas. So that's my only really gripe about this. But look, people are going to go there because they want to play big. They want to win a lot of money. They want to chase bracelets. I just think they're leaving a lot of fat on the bone by making these buy-ins so big and picking these exact dates.
I like the fact that they're skewing the buy-ins higher. I think that that's clearly what this series is made for.
Mm-hmm.
And then because of that, I probably wouldn't have this 2,500. Like I just wouldn't. I would probably have nothing lower than a 10K.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would have a few 10Ks on the schedule. You obviously have the 25K super main event, and then do whatever you want for 50Ks, 100Ks, etc. But I feel like the 2,500 circuit championship. I mean, that's square peg round hole. Like it that's doesn't fit. Like obviously, this is clearly, at least to me, a high roller series.
Yeah.
So why are you then inviting that down there? I think you can do that elsewhere. Like I just always still feel like that circuit championship should be during the summer. That's when everyone is in Vegas. You're going to get the biggest numbers, etc. Like most eyeballs are on you. Celebration of it. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I like the fact that they go, fully high roller with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is clearly catered towards one's specific player. Basically, it's the high roller, and that's fine. They basically are like, okay, this is this little narrow path that we're going down with this, and that's what it's going to be. Now, I will say that, and I will say this is also why, and I advocated for this last year. I think WPT for their December stuff should go a bit the other way. Where I say that, in my opinion, WSOP Paradise, or at least my thought right now, is that they should have the lowest buy-in be 10K.
Yeah.
WPT World Championship, I feel like the highest buy-in should be the 10K World Championship, and everything else should be between 500 to 5,000. And you try and go for that market, right? And you also another piece of the market that I think WPT World Championship can go for, and I think they do try and go for it, is the mixed game crowd, because there's no mixed games on the Paradise schedule, right? I know they had the one. Well, I know they had the
one. Was it an 8 game? I think they have it.
Oh, they do have the 8 game mix. It's 10K buy-in.
Yeah.
But wasn't that 25K last year?
It was 25K.
That's the one Wasserson won.
Dealer's choice, and they couldn't make it dealer's choice because they didn't have all the games.
So I find that interesting. That's I would honestly, if I was the WSOP, I would just throw that out. What's the point? I don't think that even matters, right?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're going to have more of them to draw on more of that crowd, I just don't even think that that's just have a 10K 6-handed PLO, 10K 6-handed half and half, 5-card PLO, whatever, something like that. And then, again, WPT, who they announced their dates for December 2nd through 22nd. And then they don't have specific dates of the tournaments. They don't have the full tournament schedule, but they did say that the $10,400 WPT World Championship will have 3 starting flights starting on December 13th. The WPT Prime Championship has 4 starting flights, and that's going to start on December 7th. So I'm also curious, what does the WPT do? Because 2 years ago, right, they did the 40 million.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of what sparked this whole thing. Oh, you're going to do 40 million? We're going to do 50 million. They missed the 40 million. Now WSOP's over here going, not only did we do 50, we're going to go to 60. Okay. WPT ditched their guarantee entirely. Now, they did do very well on the turnout for that event, even without a guarantee, right? I think that they did better than I thought they would do. So that's a win, in my opinion, for the WPT. They got 2,000, I think it was. Yeah, 2,392, which I think is freaking incredible for a 10K, especially with no guarantee. I am curious to see if they do it without a guarantee, do we start to see this downward trend? I'm always big on don't freak out after one instance of something, but if you start seeing trends, that's when you start being okay. So,
well, the thing with
also last year is even though they didn't have the guarantee, they had that $5 million free roll. So and we haven't heard anything about a free roll. What are they? What is their pop? What is this is our shiny object? What is it?
Yeah, I mean, we have to see. Obviously, we're talking August right now. We don't know where that sweepstakes market's going to be in December, right? So that's going to matter a lot. You have to remember, you said there's no guarantee on that event, but there was, in a way, $1 million guarantee because they gave 100 seats out for that event.
I mean, that's not a guarantee.
It's not a guarantee, but that number includes 100 extra players. I was one of them that want to see.
Sure.
That 100 maybe.
But I'm saying we haven't heard any of that stuff.
True. But I'm just
saying at some point you have to start marketing that. I mean, it is almost going to be September.
Yeah, I would say that if I was to guess, they would maybe do something very similar. I don't think we'll see a guarantee. It's more of a question of will there be some kind of $5 million free roll promotion kind of effort around that. I would say that without that, I would say that the numbers will most likely be very similar or even more. I think
you're going up.
I think Paradise is a little stale for some people. So I
agree.
I see people don't going. I think you can still go to Paradise, come back. We talked to Jeremy Osmus. He was at my main event table that day, and he goes, "Yeah, I was sick of it. I had to come back." I think we'll see a bit of that. We mentioned it last week, but we also got to talk about the Bitcoin price. That will affect things a little bit too. So yeah, I would think that people would prefer to congregate here. We're going to throw in whatever Ari is doing. They did something new last year for December. I'm going to say that they're doing something this year. That will contribute to people wanting to come here and turn December into a mini summer, right? Where, everyone's got competing things. We can have Win, we can have the MGM properties. You can get a lot of value.
We should have PGT.
We do have a PGT event. It's called the PGT Rags to Riches.
We should have PGT. We should have more PGT.
We should, but it's too hard.
Well, you're too much of a nit.
Not a nit.
You're a nit.
Not a nit.
You're a nit.
There's just no room in the schedule for it.
Yes, there is. 100%. You know what we should do? I know exactly what we should do. We should have 5 25Ks.
What days?
Whenever the win is running some 1,500.
Yeah, they're smart enough to squeeze us
You
out.
are in no way, shape, or form scared to do 10Ks and 15Ks when the regular World Series of Poker is running.
Because everyone's here.
Yeah, and enough people will be here that will want to come play a 25K. Nothing less than a 25K, though. Have
What's
like
wrong with
4 or
this
5 25Ks. I think it's the user.
It's the user. Needs an oil. But yeah, I'm going to bet it goes up. We really have to see what happens.
I'm going to say it dips slightly, and I say that because, I mean, WSOP main event dips slightly. I think that's the biggest barometer in poker.
Sure, but we had travel regulations and all kinds of other issues back then. I mean,
Also, listen, I know you can say that people have soured a little bit on going to the Bahamas and Paradise, and I have heard the same things.
Yeah.
It is $10 million more guaranteed. They got to get people from somewhere. They got to put them in.
You got to put up 25K.
Yeah, but they're gonna. They said they're gonna qualify 1,000 people.
Sure. How much does
those people got to qualify from somewhere?
How much does the rule changes that they made last year annoy people that were there where they're like, I'm not going?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some of that. Yes, but I'm saying they're still going to cram people in via satellites, and maybe those people, because there was enough internationals that came to the win in December. Yeah. Maybe those and maybe in last year, maybe they came because, let's say, they didn't win a package. They tried to win a package, right? And they just didn't win one. So they're like, okay, whatever, I'll go to the win. Not a big deal. I'm kind of over the Bahamas anyway. I'll go to the win. It's not as expensive to go to Vegas versus going to Atlantis. Like, okay, I'll just go to the win. What if those people end up winning a package, right? Like, I'm just like, I don't know. I just think it's going to be like, I think we're going to see something similar in the Bahamas where they're basically like right at 60 million for the prize pool. Like, once again, just like they were basically right at $50 million, right? So then maybe after they take the fees out, they dip below it, whatever. Like, but I don't think they're going to like, I mean, maybe they will, but I don't think they're going to like get 75 million in the prize pool, like out of nowhere. I think it's going to be like very close to 60. And then I think WPT is probably going to be like 2,200, which is like not even like that big of a dip. So it's whatever. I'm more curious as it relates to the WPT. Like, I almost don't like, I guess this is probably a bad way to phrase it, but I just almost don't care about the World Championship. Like, it just like, I think, I know it's obviously big and it's great and whatever, but I don't know. I like big shiny objects, man. So like when you had a big guarantee on it, it was just a shinier object.
To me, I know that.
Did I play it last year?
Did you play it last year?
I did not play it last year. I did not play it last year because I did not like the fact that it didn't have a guarantee. I thought that would play into the fact that it made the tournament a little bit harder because you don't have to cram in a bunch of qualifiers.
They crammed me in there
and
gave my money away.
And honestly, I did think it was somewhat difficult, like more difficult than I would have liked to if I'm gonna stretch myself for a 10K. Now, I am the 163rd best player in the world, so maybe I will try and come back.
You should make And
I did cash that tournament once. I can't remember what place was I. 200 and something.
Something
this
like that. Once this event runs, this is the new World Championship.
I think I'm up in 10K events.
So you have to defend your 163rd place.
I should look that up. If I'm up in 10Ks.
How many events you played? Just do simple math. You made
4.
You min cashed the World Championship.
WSOP and
so you're basically even there.
2.
No.
I played one. I played one WPT for sure. I can't remember if I played the second year. Did I? I had to because it went. Yeah, because I cashed the first year and it was a smaller buy. And then
you have one buy-in in 10Ks.
Yeah, I'm winning player.
Crushing life. Yeah.
Crushing.
But
absolutely crushing.
You have to defend your 163rd place in this event because this is the World Championship.
Look up when I cashed in the other one.
Why? You have to defend you. That's all I'm saying. You got to defend.
The reason why I say that, listen, I know people are going to get mad the way I phrase that, but whatever, I don't care. I think the big shiny object for the WPT World Championship schedule is the WPT Prime Championship. Like, that to me is the big shiny object.
Yep.
That's the one where it's 1,100 buy-in, right? So there's 1,100, right? And it gets 10,000 people.
Yeah,
like it's freaking ridiculous. Like, that's the one where like you can send press releases out afterwards because it's like, this is the record setter for this and that. Like, that's the one to me.
Yeah.
So like I just feel like that because they took away from the WPT World Championship. Yes, I know it got almost 2,400 entries. Yes, I get it. But ultimately, you scaled it back quite a bit. Like, to me, the WPT Prime Championship is where it's at. So that's why I say that, like, I would kind of build the schedule around that type of player versus trying to build the schedule around the 10K WPT World Championship. I would still have that, of course, and it would be the headliner, you know, or one of the focal points, right? The cap on it all. But I would focus on, like, again, the $500 buy-in to the 5K buy-in price point. I would focus on a lot of mixed games, and I would try and cram basically every circuit major grinder into Las Vegas in December. That's my goal.
Yeah.
I would look at WSP and I would say, listen, you guys can have the high rollers. That's totally fine. We can all coexist here. And if I was WSOP, which I think WSOP did a good job of, I would say you can have all the, you know, mid-stakes type of players, which I think WSOP, for the most part, I know they have that circuit championship, yes, but for the most part, everything else is big buy-in stuff, right? So it's like, we're over here, you guys can be over there, and we can all coexist, and poker in general can just be very good in the month of December in both places, right? Now, yes, there is going to be some people, like, I mean, Jeremy Osmond's, just because you mentioned him, he's like someone who, you know, I know what he said, he might not go back there, but maybe he gets pulled back there.
Yeah.
Right. And he's going to be one of those guys who's like probably in the middle. Like, there are some of those guys that are like, I could go here because I can obviously play big, or I can go here and I can, you know, play maybe with some weaker competition, bigger fields, and whatever, get my, you know, my bang for the buck that way. So I think it's going to be interesting. 234th place, by the way, in the WPT World Championship. My first ever PGT cash.
You have 2 now.
I do have 2 now. I should be in the PGT Hall of Fame.
No, not yet. You need 98 more.
So I think it's interesting that we've heard a lot from WSOP and we haven't heard much from WPT.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's probably orchestrated in that WPT is probably waiting, see what they announce, see what they come with, blah, blah, blah. And then we're going to announce our stuff. There might also be some stuff that you mentioned where, like, they need to see how the sweepstakes landscape shakes out a little bit more, right? And then they're going to figure things out. But yeah, I would think if you're going to do any sort of big guarantee, you have to just be, you have to be qualifying people. It has to be out there. So, you know, I'm not going to go to the Bahamas. Vegas is my backyard. So I'm going to be at the Wynn, right? So I hope they bring a lot. You know, I'm very much looking forward to it. I even think you could do something like, and I've said this before, and I've worked for the WPT, and they kind of looked at me like I was crazy when I was in the office, and I brought this idea up. But what if you did the first ever WPT Main Tour PLO title? 3,300 or like a 5K buy-in.
Make it 10. Make it big.
I think you go like 35 to 5K. And I think you put like a 5 million guarantee on it. And that's your freaking shiny object. I would say that, like, for the WPT World Championship, you should basically have like 4 major titles. I think that they considered the Prime, the WPT Prime, as a major in their mind. Okay. So yeah. I think that's one of the 4, the WPT Prime Championship. Okay. You obviously have the WPT World Championship. I think you add this, a PLO championship, first ever one. Banging guarantee, let's go. I think you could also do like just like another like a 3,500, 5 mil guarantee or something. Similar to, remember when Seminole did, they had in the same series, the WPT. They had the Ryan Reese, I think, won the 10K.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They had the 33 and then they had the 10K.
Yeah, that was,
and they were both main tour titles. Yeah. So like, why couldn't you do that?
Yeah, you could do that.
You know? Like you could have the $1,100 Prime. You could have a $3,300 PLO championship, first ever.
Yep.
And then you can have a $3,300 WPT Main Tour championship. Like, both of those 3,300s, put $5 million guarantee on them. Go nuts. And then you have the 10K as the capper.
Yeah, I'm in.
Solved your problem.
Call Adam.
Where do I send the invoice? What's Savage's email?
SavagePoker@gmail.com, probably. I don't know.
I mean, that's probably
that probably is a good guess. Or Poker TDA or Savage@tda.com or something.
Whatever. Who cares? We'll just send him our invoice.
Yeah.
But I think that would be legit. You know, I think that. I think that PLO is here. It deserves a freaking WPT Main Tour title. Let's go. If you want to go buck wild, you just add the WPT Prime PLO Championship as well.
That
would be sick.
Is a better idea, actually.
Yeah, but why can't they have one of each?
No, you could do both. I mean,
that's what I mean. Then you get a five headlining trophy events. Like those are your 5.
Yeah,
like that's it.
The big 5.
That's the win. The win at the win for the WPT.
That's how the win wins.
That's how the win wins. Well, the win is winning. I don't think the win is losing. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. All right. Cool. That's. I think that's all we got. We went for almost 2 hours. Holy hell! Rich Ryan's gonna kill us.
I gotta get ready for my big drive to go win some football trophies.
Yeah,
more football trophies.
Good luck. I saw you won a piece of wood. That was great.
That's actually a pretty cool trophy.
Yeah. It looked like a piece of wood.
Well, it's called Stumptown Throwdown. We're in Portland, in a forest. Like I thought it was a cool trophy.
All right, whatever.
Hey, I'll take any trophy it is. I wasn't. Here's the funny thing. They're like, "Are you going to enter this contest?" It was a longest kick contest. My team was like, "You need to enter. You'll win." I go, "I'm not entering unless there's a trophy." And then they showed me the trophy, and I was like, "All right, I'm in." And I won.
What did I do with my wedding ring? Oh, it's on my finger.
Yeah, it's on your finger.
Wow. I was literally just looking for it everywhere.
Pod, you threw it on the ground. So disrespectful.
All right. We're going to get out of here. For Tim Duckworth, my name is Donnie Peters, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
So, yeah.